Aloha, everyone, and welcome to week 7. This week, we're going to be working on a job aid for making a survey collector. Survey collectors are prims where you can drop note cards, share information, give feedback, put in homework assignments. So teachers can use the survey collector where people can turn things in. All right, so let's walk step by step through the job aid. I've got my job aid up on the left-hand side of my screen here. So we've got the survey collector here. And then on my right-hand side, I'm in OpenSim, and I will show you step by step. We'll go one number at a time through the job aid, and you can follow along and feel confident for when you build your own survey collector. All right, so first things first, what we want to do, you want to go over to session 7, fall 2019, and you want to left click and buy the material that's in your material dispenser. So I've already bought mine. I'm going to open up my inventory. And on my inventory in my recent tab, and yours will be in here too, you should see session 7, materials, fall 2019. And we've got quite a lot of stuff, but right now we're just going to be focusing on the survey collector. Okay, so assuming that you had purchased your material in the same session, it will be in recent. If you got the materials earlier and you're coming back in to build, you'll have to look into your inventory, okay, and you'll need to look and find session 7, materials, fall 2019 here, and it'll be in your inventory. So as long as you're building in the same session that you got your materials from, you'll find your materials in the recent tab. All right, let's get started. First, we're going to res a cube. All right, so let me hop over here. I'm just going to get into a space where I can build a little more easily. Okay, so we want to get our cube, and I'm resing it. Mine is in the floor, so let's pull it so we can see it better. All right, here's my cube. Now, we're going to edit this time. Instead of resizing using our keyboard, we're actually going to type in. So actually, first things first, before we forget, let's name our object. So this is going to be Sarah's survey collector. You can type in whatever you want on your name as long as you can identify it and find it later on. All right, so let's go where we've named our prim in the general tab. Go one tab over to object, and I want you to look down here. So if you follow along on the job aid, you can see this is size. All right, and size is going to be here. So we're going to resize from the X, Y, and Z axes, and I want you to double click into X, and you're going to type in 0.4. So your X axis is 0.4, your Y axis is 0.4, your Z-axis, mine is already set to 0.5. Uh-oh, hang on. I need to make sure that that Y-axis is actually set to 0.4, and my Z-axis is 0.5. If yours does not say 0.5, you need to just type it in like that. All right, easy peasy. All right, now I want you to look at rotation, which is the next one underneath size, and we're only going to be changing the y-axis, so you're going to double click in that and type 90. So make sure it doesn't say 0.90, we want it to be 90. All right, then let's look for this path cut right here. Path cut is going to be here underneath box. See where it says box here on this tab? Underneath, you see path cut B and E. We're only changing E. Go ahead and double click in there and type in 0.6. You can use the up and down arrow, but it probably won't get you directly to 0.6, so it's just faster and easier to type it in. All right, so just to go through it one more time, we are editing in our object tab. we changed the X, Y, and Z axes to say 0.4, 0.4, 0.5. We changed our Y axis to say 90 degrees, and then we went to path cut and we changed E here to 0.6. All right, step 5. We're going to move over to texture now, and on the texture tab, we're going to left click on this texture swatch. Right now it's just set to like the normal wood color. All right, so left click and it'll pull up the tab, and you want to find Wood 101. It is actually in your session 7 materials, so you can click 101 here. Additionally, there is a wood grain that is more similar in color to the one pictured on your job aid, and that is under your texture library. And these are in alphabetical order, and you can go scroll all the way down to the bottom and see this is wood 1. But just for convenience, let's use the one that's in session 7 material fall 2019. So click on this, and you're going to choose OK. So now we've colored it, and left click on full bright. All right. So again, we went to the texture swatch. We left clicked under your session 7 materials. And actually that was from last year. So this is, it's going to be under here anyway. Session 7 materials fall 2019, wood 101. It's the same material. Click OK and check mark full bright. Full bright needs to have that check mark. All right, still not done in the textures. We're going to actually change the bumpiness. So right now we're on texture, which gives us the color that we want. So we're also going to change the bumpiness now of the prim. Right now there's nothing. So we're going to left click on this tab, pull down bar, and can you please choose bark? Okay, so if you see over here, this is bumpiness. Then we went to this tab and we chose bark. Okay. All right, so that's it for the texture. Moving over to our content, we don't have any content in here. And to make it a to make it a survey collector, we want to add script. So go ahead and go back to your recent tab. Okay. So right now you have your contents open for your prim and your inventory open. And what we want to drag in first is the script that says note card receiver. Okay, so let's scroll down here, and I have note card receiver here. I'm going to left click and drag it into the contents. Pretty easy. Okay, so you just grab it with your left click and drag it into contents, and it'll pull it right there. Now you can go ahead and open this up. It's not going to look exactly the same, but it's going to do the same job. So right now what we want it to say something along the lines of survey collector. So right now it's set to collect your survey card here. That's fine. If you want to change it, you can change it. So for example, on the job aid, it actually says drop your survey here. So in between these parentheses, you want to change it to drop your survey here, or whatever you want. If you're using it, it doesn't have to be for a survey. For example, let's say I don't want to do a survey and I want to do homework. I can just say drop your homework here. Okay. And click save. So whatever you're using this note card receiver for, you're gonna change that script to identify it. Okay. Then you just click save and then X out. Then we want to add the say script. Say script. So first we dropped in our note card receiver script. Now we're doing the say script, and we're going to modify it. So mine is here. I'm going to left click and drag it into the contents. So now I have both note card receiver and say script. I'm going to open it up. And right now it says create a new note card and drop your suggestions on the box. Remember, I changed mine to homework. So I'm just going to say, please drop your homework into the box. And then I can say, create a new note card and drop your homework in the box. And then instead of thank you for your suggestion, I'm just going to put thank you for your submission. Now remember, this script is just going to put in what you're actually saying. So whatever you type in when people left click on your prim, on your survey collector, this is going to populate up in your chat. So we're going to push save. And you can actually save it into your inventory if you want. Save a copy back into your inventory. So see how mine says drop your homework here. And when I left click, please drop your homework into the box, create a new note card, and drop your homework in the box. Thank you for your submission. And every time you left click on this, it's going to come up here in the chat. All right. So then how are they going to drop in their note card? So I've already created a homework submission, but let's say you want a survey or homework or whatever the case is. They need to go to this plus sign here in the inventory. And this is just what we used when we made clothes, or if you've been changing your body parts or adding gestures or whatever. And we also used it for upload. Remember when we uploaded those images for the slideshow? So now instead you can create a new note card. And then you would title your note card. So Sarah's feedback, maybe. And then you can type in the description. Feedback example is mine. And you just type in what you want. And just type in whatever. So anyway, you would save that, and it's going to save into your inventory. Because we're still in the same session, you can find it in your recent. Otherwise, you'd have to go to inventory, and you can find it in your note cards here. See? All these note cards. You've got a whole file folder with note cards. So I'm back in my recent because I've just made it. I'm going to left click and drag it. So see, can you see how the survey collector is highlighted here? And I'm just going to drop, so I'm going to let go of left click and drop it into the survey collector. And I can also do this with my feedback card and just drop it in. Oops. And then I'm going to open it. So there is these are my note cards here. Okay, so this is just how you might be able to use this in a session with your own students, and think about all the different possibilities that you can use for this. Okay, so go ahead and try it for yourself and be as creative as you want. It doesn't have to be a survey collector. You can title it whatever you want and give us some instructions. Happy building. Enjoy it. Bye.